All right, so it is time for a little bit of discussions on Mario Galaxy for the Switch 2. I picked up the little duo copy here, the combo pack, and I haven't gotten a Galaxy 2, so spoilers for that. But I will talk about Galaxy 1 a little bit. I want to go over a couple of things that I noticed, that my fiance and I noticed when we played. We played like for a few hours earlier today. Get a little bit of a taste of it. I gotta say, first and foremost, beautiful visuals, music's incredible. I've never played this game. She's never played this game. This is the best way to play the game. Clearly, it's not a debate, right? It's just the best performing version of it. But there are a few things I want to talk about here. I want to get into it. So why'd you click on the video? Well, the number one thing is for the zinger here. There is an inexplicable issue here on their end. For some reason, they've decided to remaster the game, the gameplay, the visuals, the graphics, frames are stable, but like I think it's 4K now. But for some reason, the cutscenes, the in-betweens, they're not in a new resolution at all. They weren't rendered in a higher resolution. These are in the old resolution, I guess 720p with a really bad bit rate. It looks very foggy, very clunky, and just like a smoky mess. It looks smoky. It looks like I literally got smoke or shampoo in my eyes, and I'm just like blinking a million times to try and clear them up. And let me start off by saying it's a little thing, but that's what makes it very frustrating, because it is a little thing. You went through all the trouble of making the entire game look better, which we know emulators have done for a decade now, over a decade, for this very title, but y'all couldn't be bothered to just re-render the cutscenes in a higher resolution? Like, that's the problem. Everyone can talk about the price of the games, what we're paying for this game, for both games, for another re-release. We could talk about that in another video, but all I'm gonna say is this, my opinion on this matter. If you were going to charge a price, you better be getting what you pay for, and what we paid for was remastered visuals, upgraded visuals. Now, you don't get to decide where those go, unless you tell everybody, oh, hey, remastered visuals and graphical fidelity increase, but only for gameplay, not for cutscenes. Maybe it's on the box somewhere, I'll have to check. But to me, if you're gonna be very, let's say, ambitious with this pricing, it's a very, being generous there with that. But let's say they're gonna be ambitious with their pricing. You better deliver on what you're charging for, man. You better deliver. You can't miss these kind of things. It's like, this reminds me when I played sports back in the day, all the way through college. Big mistakes hardly ever got you in trouble. It was always the little ones, the easily avoidable ones, the mental lapses. You make a crucial big time error, or you strike out in a big spot in a baseball game, your coach ain't gonna get on you for that. That's a failure, but you tried. It wasn't an error in mentality. It was just, you just didn't get it done. What your coach will get on you for, and it's happened to me a million times, you didn't do the laundry for the team when you're supposed to. You forgot the bucket of balls. You didn't bring your jersey. Oh my God, don't get me started on the jersey. It's stuff like that. You get to do stuff like this. You get the benefit of the doubt if you're Nintendo, if you're not charging, quote unquote, full price or a high price for this game. If they were re-releasing this and it was like, oh nice, we'll re-release both these games for a full charge of just 30 or 15 each. Okay, all right, we'll make some concessions on the cutscenes. But as you guys can see, they're just all over the place. And it's not the biggest deal, again, but it's just, we like these cutscenes, man. In these little Mario games, right? It's all about the world building and these little things here, right? That make you go, damn, this is a Nintendo experience. You just don't want to see them taking shortcuts here. You don't want to see that. In this current ecosystem of Nintendo conversation, in this current environment we're in, a little hostile, I'd say, between consumer and the company itself delivering the product. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about this. That sounds like I'm harping on. It's just one of those things. I couldn't believe it. Vic is my fiance, Victoria. We looked at this when we first saw it and we went, what? Like, it was, we both, and she's not big on this kind of stuff. She's not like a huge visual snob or even a gameplay, frame snob at all. But even she was like, what? Why does it look like that? Like, Mario looked like Play-Doh. Yeah, let's get into the positive stuff. So we start out with the game, and you guys can see here, I'm doing a little demo run, just redoing one of the first stars and the third star in the first level, little King Caliente action. And what I'm looking for in this game is a fun, unique Mario experience. I'm not looking for extreme challenge. I'm not looking for a speed run. I'm looking to just enjoy the mechanics of a game and enjoy something that I have never experienced before, a unique whole experience. And I'm sure if you guys have played this game, or even if you haven't, and you're seeing it now, you can attest to that idea that this game is very different. I gotta say, motion controls, they're pretty good. I do have some issues with the calibration of that little star, but if you hit the RB button, I think it lines it back up again, but still, it's weird. So if like you go to a cutscene and then you're out of the cutscene to the next part of the level, it depends on when you reconnect your controller where it's like calibrated to. So sometimes my controller was dead on, but the marker was all the way to the left and to the right, vice versa, whatever. It takes a little bit of recalibration, but I have to say the reason why I never played this game, or Galaxy 2 for that matter, is that during the Wii era, I gave up on Nintendo. I hate motion controls. I'll say this, I don't hate them anymore. I don't prefer them, but I used to hate them because I tried to play a lot of Wii in its early pre-Wii Motion Plus era, but I was just coming off the Xbox 360. I was still in the Xbox 360. Games were starting to look real good, starting to perform pretty good. You're asking me to hop on a low-res system with janky motion controls. My ADHD little ass was not having. I gave up, but now I'm back, and better late than never, right? So I'm happy to be here. The music is insane. I love the orchestra that they went with here. I know I've read a little bit into the history of it and listened to some videos on this. There was like a point of deliberation, I suppose, where like they were almost not gonna go with an orchestra, but man, I'm glad they did. I just feel like it makes sense. You're in the cosmos. You need it to be grand. Anything less wouldn't have done it any justice. There's that. The visuals too look great. I will say, as you, I'm sure you can expect, right? It's an old game. So even with the, the better rendering, the higher fidelity, you still will see some things that make you go, this is an older game. Like the art style, just some of the design choices you could tell are a little bit old. Textures and whatnot. I don't care. If the frame rate is stable and at least 60 FPS, I don't know, 30, we don't do 30 anymore in 2025. I'm sorry, no excuses. But as long as it's a stable 60 and there's a somewhat improvement to the graphical resolution, I'm in. I gotta say, as a first timer for Mario Galaxy, I thought that the gyro and the camera going upside down was gonna mess with me. I get really bad motion sickness, another reason why I've kind of stayed away from this game. But I said, F it, let me try it. It actually doesn't bother me at all, because I think they do a very good job of the camera being really up your butt a little bit in a good way. You don't lose sight of yourself. It doesn't throw off my equilibrium is what I'm trying to say. So for those, for those who are worried about it, you might be worried about it. There's people out there like me. Give it a shot. I think you'll be okay. I tried a little bit of handheld to see how that would work, and it's pretty good. I'd have to imagine that the gyro aiming with the motion control is a little wonky. It wouldn't be my preferred way to play the game. I definitely wouldn't play this with a single Joy-Con. I play with a Pro controller, the way I prefer it personally. I've heard it's a little weird with the Joy-Con, with the spin button being Y, or you could spin the Joy-Con or the controller to do it. I prefer, excuse me, I prefer Y. I prefer to do all of it with buttons. That's kind of how I am, but it's still nice. And Vic and I, my fiance again, sorry if you didn't catch it the first time, we're playing co-op. She's controlling it. I love just letting her have the wheel here, and I'm the star assist person, collecting all the stuff on the side and shooting the occasional enemy and freezing them in place, and I think it's perfect. I don't think you need any more than that. It would be a little weird to have two people because the camera thing, but I'm just doing my best not to distract her with my little star on the screen, because a second one pops up, but we're having a good time, and I think you guys will too. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I've been having a blast so far in the few hours I've played. I look forward to finishing the game. I'll give maybe my full thoughts. Maybe, we'll see. It's a little late for a full Mario Galaxy review, decade later, decade more. I don't know how many years ago this game came out. A long time. This smells like 2007. I don't know. Whatever. It's been a long time. But yeah, I just wanted to hop in, talk about the game a little bit. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.